am back by popular demand. I am dividing a decimal by a decimal. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up in a standard algorithm. I'm having my 1 3/10 as my divisor and my 7.8 as my dividend. Now the first thing you're going to do, you don't want to have a decimal in your divisor, so I'm going to move my decimal point over 1 time. What I do with the divisor, I have to do with the dividend, so I'm going to do the same thing with the dividend. This now turns into 13 divided by 78, and you can add 0.0 because that does not change the value. Also, when I'm moving over my decimal point 1 time, that means I'm multiplying both numbers by 10. If I had to move over my decimal point 2 times, that means I'm multiplying both numbers by 100. So the first thing, 13 can go into 7, it can't, 0 times. Then you have 13 into 78. If you are getting stuck on your multiplication, you can always make a ladder, which I've already done for time's sake. So I know 13 times 6 is 78. So I'm going to add a 6. Now what I need to do, don't just carry your decimal point up. I want you to get in the habit of carrying it over. So I've carried my decimal point over 1 time in my dividend. So in my quotient, I'm going to do the same thing. So my answer is 6, or 6 0/10. Now how I'm going to do that when I use my models. So I'm going to start out, we said, with 7/8, or I'm sorry, 7 8/10, which is right here. I have 1 whole, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have my 8/10 right here. What I'm doing is I'm trying to see how many groups of 1 3/10 I can take away. So I'm going to take 1 whole and 3/10. That is one group. 1 whole and 3/10. That is another group. Now, I've come across a whole where I don't have any tenths left. What I can do is I'm just going to exchange 10/10 for a whole. I have 1 whole and 3/10 to make another group. 1 whole, 3/10 to make another group. 1 whole, 3/10, 1 whole, and 3/10. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know my problem of 7 8/10 divided by 1 3/10 means I can take 1 3/10 out of our dividend 6 times.